Okay, so the upcoming Cash Card 2 Marvel Snap is going to be Misery. Misery is going to be joining alongside Namor and War Machine. So if you don't have Namor or War Machine, or you just have Namor and you want to try for War Machine, definitely this is your week since War Machine actually did get buffed recently. Now, let's, however, get into the ability of Misery. Okay? Misery reads on reveal. Repeat the on reveal abilities of your other cards here, then destroy them. Okay. So, what that reads to me is like, say, you have, for example, I get Loki technically, but let's not even use Loki as an example. Let's go with Cable and Carnage, I guess. I'm not really sure how it interacts with Carnage, so that's a bad example on my behalf. Let's go with Cable and I guess we go with Cable and Killmonger. Why is it so hard for me to think of unreveal abilities at the time of unrevealness? But here we go. Okay, so Cable would activate, then get destroyed. Killmonger would then activate and get destroyed. But speaking of other cards in combination with this, I'm curious, like, did they activate in the order they were played, or in the order how did they choose to activate? Or did they all like activate at once? Or can you do something cheeky like, say, no, I get that wouldn't work. I get that if there was a Grandmaster there and there was still somehow a Cable there, would the Grandmaster still go off moving the Cable, or would the Cable go off first and just do the thing once, and then would the Cable go off again but get destroyed because Misery, or is it because he's not there anymore? If it works like other cards, usually even if the card is moved, it's subject to get destroyed or whatever by the card. So we'll have to see about that. And it said then destroy them opposed to and destroy them. So that implies that you could play her on an armor field, and then the unrevealability would still activate, even if there's no way they will get destroyed, because we've seen other cards such as Nico. Nico has an ability that destroy and draw two cards, but see, that's where that and comes into play. So we've learned the hard way that if the card doesn't get destroyed, you don't get to draw two cards from Nico. But that said, then destroy them. So it's it doesn't read, as far as I can tell. I'm really going in deep with this explanation. Let me know if you guys like me going deep into the idea of the card like this or not. So if we look at it, we're thinking that Misery does not read whether or not the card can be destroyed. Misery just reads if they're unreveal abilities, activates the unreveal abilities, and then destroy them. So armor theoretically should let you activate the unreveal and not get destroyed. Now, the thing is, I'm curious. I'm curious how this interacts with Symbiote Spider-Man. Because as we know, Symbiote Spider-Man is a card that you activate and then it merges. In theory, it could merge with this card. In theory. So that's a bit interesting, I guess. And what if you played this card and then you activated, no, you activated Symbiote Spider-Man, then played this card. I guess it would work, the Symbiote Spider-Man would go up, but I guess it's not as complicated as making it seem. I'm sure there are some weird scenarios that would make that card not very good or too good. I guess you could think of it as if you have an armor, it's basically a cheaper Odin with extra steps. The extra step meaning that you will need to have armor in that lane, but that shouldn't be too much of a big deal. Not Cosmo, because Cosmo would just stop it immediately. And then I guess we get into the weird territory of what if you have like a one cost that has an on-reveal ability you won't play again, but you have Kyra down to protect the one cost. The unrevealability should go off because again the way it's worded, it doesn't say destroy and activate the unrevealabilities or destroy and activate. Yeah, it doesn't say any of that. It said then destroy. So from wording, here's what I think happens. I think that based on the wording, it looks for when it's unrevealed, misery. She looks for unreveal cards, other unreveal cards, um, in the same, area she is. And then if she finds some, she activates all those unreveal abilities. And then they get destroyed. I mean, because it would be kind of weird if she checked if they could be destroyed first. It would also be kind of weird if the ability activated and then it unactivated if it couldn't be destroyed. that would be wild actually. So yeah, I think that card had potential. Like I said, we're basically essentially if it works the way we think it does, that's essentially a cheaper Odin. I mean, granted, your guy play armor or something that prevents your cards from being destroyed, but for all intents and purposes, it's a cheaper Odin. And I'll be honest, I'm not real mad about that. The idea of a cheaper Odin seems pretty cool, honestly. And it's a full cost, which means technically Zabu can help it. I know, Zabu isn't really much in the meta these days. But you know what? I've been rambling about this for way too long, okay? Let me know comment section below. Do you guys like me doing extra deep dives in these videos like I did with this? Or would you like me to just go back to quick glance talking about type things? Because, yeah. because this is one of the things that I find interesting. I don't know. I would be eager to play around with her ability, see how it works and stuff. I think a deck with armor in it might be one of the best ways to go, if I'm being honest. But let me know your thoughts, comment section below. Oh, and before I forget, I should mention again that the cards that are going to be alongside her are Namor and War Machine. So if either of those cards tickle your fancy, then getting Misery should be a no-brainer. Like a key or two for Misery. If you don't have Namor or War Machine, you can't go wrong. If you don't have War Machine, you'll have uh 50-50 of getting, well, I guess really not 50-50, but you'll have a good chance of getting a card you don't already have. But yeah, let me know if you think you're going to pull for her or you're going to wait until you see decks with her in it before you decide, because that's also an option. And with that said, I will catch you guys in the future. Later.